And welcome everybody to the 2023 Formula One World Championship, live from, well, live when it was live, obviously, but live from Italy, Monza, the Crucible of Speed. I think it's called the Crucible of Speed. Is that Crucible? Was that right? Or the chapel?
It's the temple.
The temple. I knew it
Temple.
was something religious. I couldn't remember what. That's how bad I am. Yes, the Temple of Speed. I prefer Crucible. You know what I mean? That just sounds more fiery for some reason. But anyway, there we go. I'm joined as always by my host, co-host here, Fuffer. Fabio.
Hello, peace.
Hello, Fabio. Peace.
Yes.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao,
And
ciao,
also
ciao, ciao.
my not an expert, Lucky Seven Wolfen.
Good evening, gentlemen. Nice to see you
Thank
again.
you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to crack on because cracking on is my new phrase since I've been watching somebody restoring a.
Can I say one just brief thing before we start?
Okay, and we'll end the show after that. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
extremely brief. It's extremely brief. Forza Ferrari. That's all I had to say.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, there you
Good.
go, man. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Bravo, Ferrari. Grazie. That is going to be the theme of tonight's rundown, as you'll see. But there we go. But in the meantime, we had a race.
Yes.
We, in fact, had a race. And what happened in the race? I bet you're all dying to know. Well, what happened in the race was, on the warm-up lap, the unfortunate Yuki Tsunoda had a problem with his Honda engine.
Yeah.
And straight away we were all thinking, that's so unfortunate for Yuki. Could it happen to Max? That's what we immediately went through everybody's mind. And, of course, it wasn't to be. But nevertheless, away we go. Very unfortunate, delayed start. Very frustrating for me because I was right on the edge. If you know what I mean. I had to delay it. I had to delay my gratification for a few moments because always the start of the Italian Grand Prix from Monza is very exciting. But in pole position, of course, was the fantastic, the Marvelo Carlo. Sweet Carlos Sainz, bye bye Perez. Okay. Just had to say that joke because I wrote it in chat earlier. But anyway. And then second place, of course, Max Verstappen. It was very close. Fantastic pole lap by Carlos, though. Third place, Leclerc. Fourth place, Russell. Amazing, Russell. And then various other people we can't be bothered with. Okay. See, we can't be bothered, can we, Fabio?
Yeah.
No, clearly
no,
not.
God. Yeah, fuck it.
So anyway, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and out they went. The race was go, and Carlos got away to a fantastic start. In fact, all of the top drivers got away to a great start. Max threatening to go around the outside, but this year deciding not to. Obviously, having previous experience in that corner. Carlos getting away to a great start. Leclerc holding off Russell. And it was to be that way for some time. Russell really giving a good go into the second chicane. But Leclerc defending well. And then behind that, Russell was Perez. The same I mentioned earlier. Bye-bye, Perez. And as his new nickname is. And behind that, I think it was Norris, Albon. Yeah, Norris and Albon having a go at each other, which was another theme. Albon really driving the rocks off that Williams, managing to get by. Managing to get by. It was Piastri actually, wasn't it?
Yes.
Again, good job by the young boy. doing well, really earning his place. If he wants to move up, he will be able to. And then, of course, Max then having a ding dong battle with Science, and Science really driving brilliantly. I've got to say, yeah, really defending well. Max tried to go around the outside like he did with with Lewis from a few years ago. Again, thinking better of it every single time, knowing that Carlos wasn't going to just close the door every time. So really shafting him, giving it to him, giving it back to the young Meister, young Max Meister, and yeah, nothing Max could do. In the first time, in the second lap when he did this, of course, Max immediately on the radio saying, calling foul of Carlos Sainz, and all of a sudden we all thought, oh my goodness, Carlos is going to get a penalty. No, in fact, it was just Max saying, oh, that was naughty. That was naughty, he said. But of course, how many times have we seen Max do exactly the same thing? I don't know, countless. So it was a bit rich, really, for Max to be saying that. And again, his teammate not wishing to be left out when being overtaken, or trying to overtake, I should say. Was it Russell, wasn't it? Basically going into the same chicane. What is the name of the first chicane, by the way, Fabio?
Well, it's so the chicane in Monza is called Variante.
Yeah.
That is the first Variante. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yes, Russell going in, and basically Perez outbraked himself, but instead of just saying, "Shit, I outbraked myself," he actually blamed Russell for pushing him off the track. A replay showed there was no contact whatsoever. In fact, you could have probably fit a motorcycle in the middle of the two cars quite happily. So I don't know what the Red Bull drivers were on, but whatever it wasn't reality. Anyway, moving on. Science held off. This is lap 14. Science held off Verstappen for some time. Again, fantastic drive. Russell holding off Perez. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Perez screaming foul there, because unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
Eventually, Max managed to get a really good slipstream out of Curva Alboreto. Is that what it's called, Fabio?
No. He got the advantage when Carlos made a mistake on the first chicane, Prima Variante. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But what's the curve now? It's not the parabolica. It's
Carva Grande.
nope,
no
it's not
Nope.
Curva Grande.
Alboreto. Alboreto.
Yes,
But
Alboreto.
what's it called? Is it Curve Alboreto or
No, it's Curva Alboreto.
It is okay.
Which,
Just checking. So
which,
anyway, Max got a really good run out of there. Pressured Science into the first chicane, the first Variante, and decided, and then having pressured Science in that, managed to get a great run out of that, and then into the Lesmos. Is it? Yeah, is it the first? What's the?
No, the
I
first
can't
one is the Biassono. Then you
Okay,
got the Variante della Roggia.
right.
Then
The
you got
Roger.
the two.
That's where he got him. Okay,
Yeah, the two Lesbos are the two
and then it's the Lesmos. Yeah.
on top of the circuit.
Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So I can't remember what that name of that big curve is, but he went around the outside of that, and then down, and then managed to get him down the inside of the second chicane. So again, a really good pass by the Max Verstappen, and then it wasn't much longer before Perez decided to leave Russell no room going down into the first chicane, having used DRS, of course. The other notable incidents really were the two McLarens coming together and really racing hard. Piastri not really wishing to give any room to Norris, who went round the outside into the first chicane. Of course, the normal place to go. Then it was Perez onto Leclerc, and with a bit of swooping and sliding, he had a much faster car. Something seemed to be the problem with Leclerc. I don't really know what. He didn't seem to have the pace on Sainz, although they was definitely very close. And then Lewis coming back through the pack had a bit of a ding dong with Piastri, and eventually did force Piastri off the track into the second chicane. Apologised for it later. Was given a penalty. Russell also given a penalty for something which I can't remember offhand. We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So Piastri and Hamilton coming together. Hamilton giving the thing. It broke Piastri's wing and rather ruined his race. And then it was Perez on Sainz. And again, Sainz really defending very well against a much faster car. Perez really just, I don't know, bye-bye Perez, as we're calling him now. As we're calling him now. Yeah, he couldn't get around the outside of him. Really stuck his nose in where it didn't belong a couple of times. Was lucky to get away with it. I think mainly because of the great driving. Once again by Carlos Sainz. Lewis having a go to Norris and getting past Norris. That only left one more to go. Carlos Sainz having a go back at Perez several times. That left the two Ferraris together to have a ding-dong battle. And when I say ding-dong, I mean ding-dong. Battle till the end of the race. Really good racing between the two of them. And I did like the team message by Ferrari, which was, "You are clear to race to the end of the track, no risk.
Yeah.
Race to the end, no risk." Absolutely fantastic. I was thrilled to bits to hear that because
Yes.
it was the best race on the track all day, really. I mean, Sainz defended very well against Verstappen,
Yes.
and that was exciting, but it was nowhere near as exciting as Leclerc, Sainz trying to overtake each other. Very, very good. I couldn't be happier. So, I mean, yeah, bravo Ferrari. Sainz outbraked himself a couple of times, almost gave the chance for Leclerc to get by, but always showed his mettle and his superb defensive skills in the car. And Leclerc really wasn't really able to get much closer once he'd locked his tyres up too many times. That was pretty much it. And so we came to the finishing order for the race, or other than Lewis getting by Albon, who again, stellar race by Albon, must be said. Last few laps, as I say, Leclerc trying to get past Sainz, but no to do really. Just fantastic. It made the whole Grand Prix actually. The two races, the two Ferraris racing at the end. So in the end, they came home. Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell with a 5-second penalty, Hamilton with a 5-second penalty, and then 5 seconds behind that, Albon, Norris, Alonso, Bottas. Fucking Bottas got a point.
Fucking Bottas, yeah.
Unbelievable. And Sergio Bye Perez getting second place, which I think might just maybe is the sign of a big turnaround for him. I think with that kind of confidence at Monza, he might actually be able to save his rather rocky situation at Red Bull. And that was basically the race, I think. Not a lot else to say, other than more importantly than that, Bagnaia was okay after his horrendous crash.
Yeah.
But he was all right, and he walked out on crutches from the hospital the next day. So thank goodness for that. Okay, that's it. Fabio, over to you.
Yeah, I'll start from the bottom. Francesco Bagnaia is fine in Catalonia. Really bad accident. Bastianini, his teammate, is not. He made a killer move at the first corner. He just stroked four people in the first corner, and I think he broke feet and hand, so it's gonna be out. Anyway, the F1 race. Yeah, I mean, it was a really, I would say it was a really good weekend overall. Starting from the qualifying, very exciting. Carlos made a hell of a lap. Leclerc was really trying. It was really trying, and I think it was. I mean, if there was a person which was disappointed, it was Leclerc at the end of the weekend in general, and especially in qualifying. But anyway, there was some notable teams and drivers during the weekend, and some really weird absence. I will start from people which were nowhere to be found. Alpine was nowhere to be found. As was nowhere to be found. Um, Alpha Tauri, well, yeah, kinda to be found. Besides the Tsunoda thing at the beginning of the race, the first out lap, uh, they have this guy Lawson, again, second race of his life in an F1, and he managed to get in Q2. I mean, if this is if this is how he's going to start his career, watch out for that guy, cause man, he's really something. Um, Other things, Mercedes disappointing. They didn't have the pace. They had problems. Hamilton put up a fierce battle, but he obviously didn't have the tools to fight properly. Um, McLaren, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was expecting worse from McLaren, but they managed to, I wouldn't say to save the day, but they performed way better than what I expected them to be. Williams, fuck me, Williams. Williams is on a roll. I can't remember the name of the guy which came from Mercedes to Williams to reorganize everything, but and I don't
Uh,
know how much.
James Vowles.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much they pay this guy, but they should pay twice. Whatever they got paid, because I mean, the progress that Williams has made is astonishing. Astonishing, considering the material, the budget, whatever. It's really something. So I'm really impressed. And we know Albon is a fast driver, but still, I mean, yeah, very very good performance. Ferrari, I mean, Ferrari they have a lot of data on Monza. I think they had a very nice setup. The rear wing was really weird. Like there was no wing, like all of them basically, but the Ferrari one especially was really peculiar. Leclerc had a lot of issues during the weekend. He couldn't find the setup of his car, so he ended up basically copying Carlos Sainz's setup because he couldn't find, the rhyme and reason of the car in Monza, and it was really super. I can tell you for a fact, it was really super frustrated that he didn't get the pole, and he was really super frustrated that he didn't get the podium. So all in all, I mean, he was happy, still, fourth, but I mean, the fact that his teammate is ahead of him, he was ahead of him both in qualifying and the race. I mean, that really hurts the young guy a lot. So I think it didn't came out, it didn't drove out of Monza as happy guy anyway. So yeah, there is that. I agree with you. It was a brilliant race from the way that the Ferrari were managed on the track was brilliant. race. Don't don't kill yourself, but race. And the last 5 laps, I think there were a couple of occasions where I really sweat a lot because I thought they were gonna crash into each other or whatever. There were a couple of lockups at the Prima Variante, stuff like that. I mean, it was really hairy and really edgy, but they managed, to bring, the race at the end. So all in all, I think it's the best result they could have, you know, hoped for, considering all the tools and material. The Ferrari was really fast. He had a new engine and a specific setup for Monza, both aero and mechanical setup, but it wasn't enough. I mean, it was a lot fast on the straight, which is a Monza characteristic, but they paid that with the fact that because of very low downforce, they were using, especially the rear tires, a lot, so they kept on spinning and they lost traction, which is basically how, especially Verstappen was able to overtake Carlos Sainz, after the mistake of the first Variante. So, yeah, there is that.
Indeed.
Yeah, anything else? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Pirelli was spot on. They said, 20 laps for medium tires. It was 20 laps, and then everything else. So no surprises on the tire front. Yeah.
I'm a little
Uh,
surprised in that they brought the softest tyres. I thought that was quite unusual. Normally we have a mid or the harder tyres for Monza because of the rear wheels spinning so much
yeah,
because of the low downforce settings.
yeah.
So I was a little bit surprised by that. But then, of course, they were using this new qualifying system where you have to use hards in first qualifying one, mediums in qualifying two, and soft in qualifying three.
hmm
So I guess that was kind of the reason.
Mm.
Um, how good was Science talking in Italian,
I
Fabio?
mean, actually, very good. He speaks a very good Italian. So, yeah.
Go.
Oh, sorry. Before I forget, another thing. After the qualifying, there were some people, booing Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc, just told the public to not to do that and be quiet. So yeah, kudos to the guy.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I understand the fans and all the stuff. I mean, I don't condone that. I'm expecting that.
Mm.
I don't agree with that, but kudos to
Yeah,
the guy. He stopped talking with Carlos and he just face straight the big stand
yeah,
and tell the guys not to do that and carry on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, now I'd like to hand it over to Lucky for le reportage et Laurent Sargent. Over to you,
Ah,
Lucky.
yes, mais oui, Logan Sargent. Um, this weekend, it was the dizzying heights of his career so far in Formula One. I think 15th in qualifying, believe it or not, was Logan, uh, and finished 13th in the race, believe it or not, albeit with a 5 second
Okay.
penalty for crashing into somebody. I can't remember who it was, but he hit somebody. It might have been that new guy, or it might not. But he hit
Don't know.
somebody. He got a 5 second
I can't
penalty.
remember either, to be honest with you.
No, I can't. I can't. Jesus. Anyway, he was 15th and 13th. Good weekend for Logan. Um, Still not going to save his Formula One career. It's far too late for that, I'm afraid. But anyway, we'll continue watching Mr. Sargent for the rest of the year. Uh, the Ferrari boys should be proud this weekend, I think. Um, they did an excellent job, if nothing else, keeping us all entertained. Let's be honest about it. And somebody managed to keep Verstappen behind them for 14 laps. When the hell did that last happen? When he had a working car. Be a long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
This of course was Verstappen's 10th win in a row, which is the new record. Although, yeah, Bob's got it just at the same time. It's as we talked about before, when you've got 20 odd races, 24 races in a season, these records are going to tumble, I think, fairly quickly. Uh, Especially when you've got a driver and a car combination that's as good as Verstappen and Red Bull. And just to illustrate how uh, commanding Red Bull and Verstappen are in front of the rest of the pack, of the last 35 Formula One races, guess how many Verstappen has won?
Of the last 35, did you say?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my goodness. Uh,
I'll tell you.
Okay, I could
28.
guess.
28 of the last 35 races have been Verstappen Red Bull wins.
There you go.
Now, that I believe would be somewhere
No,
near
all you're doing is reminding me of Abu Dhabi now. So I'm sorry, but you know.
the ghost of Michael Massey coming back to haunt us all. That's an 80% win rate. An 80% win rate in Formula One for a single driver, guys. That's unheard of. Obviously, the car is the thing that's really making it for Verstappen, but his lack of mechanical failures, his lack of stupid mistakes, has given the guy an 80% win rate in Formula One. I can't even think of anybody who's come close to that.
I mean, the cars. We got to say also that the cars overall are way more reliable because of rules and all that
Oh
stuff.
yes,
I mean, the
absolutely.
fact that you can only have, X amount of engines, of course you're gonna have, more reliable engines. I mean, in the in the turbo era, I mean, Simons remembers that really well. They used to change engine in between qualifying,
Oh yeah.
and there were qualifying engines and race engines, and every race you had at least two engines, at least minimum two engines. So yeah, there is that.
Yeah, but anyway, the Ferrari boys really took it to Red Bull this weekend, uh, and made for an exciting race. Um, and then at the dying sort of stages of the Grand Prix, the two Ferrari boys thought, right, well, we'll give the crowd
Don't
a
say who
good
it is,
show.
Fabio. Don't say who it is. Sorry, I have
Oh,
to
okay.
interrupt you because I can see Fabio typing.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I have a guess. That's all.
Hmm.
Go ahead. Sorry, Lucky.
That's all right. Um, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the two Ferrari boys. Yeah, they even decided that they would put on a show between the two of them towards the end, before the calm down radio message came from the team. So yeah, it was an exciting race. I think in comparison to what we've
Yeah,
seen uh, this year so far.
considering it was a dry race.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you. I mean that message didn't really calm them down. I mean, last lap, first variante, they had to go both straight. So, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
It was fantastic. It was
yeah.
You're
I
free
mean,
to race. That's what
yeah,
I heard. You're free to race, and I'm
yes,
like, my goodness, this is like Mercedes at the height
yeah.
of the Rosberg Hamilton. You know,
And, and I mean, sorry, again, sorry to interrupt you, Lucky. I mean,
fine, fine.
just think about that. You are Ferrari, okay, in Monza, and those two guys are getting at each other's throat like there is no fucking tomorrow. And you tell them you're free to just think about if those two guys bumped into each other and none of them finishes the race.
Oh,
yeah,
The
yeah.
amount of fucking pressure that you have as a team, okay, and you tell them you're free to race, don't take any risks. And I mean, and you know full well that telling two drivers no risks is just, idiotic. That doesn't even compute. The only thing they're gonna hear is you're free to race. Yeah, free to race. Yeah, I'm already doing that. Thank you very much. Fuck it.
I was going to do that anyway. Just go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Fantastic. Sorry, carry on, Lucky, please.
Well, what else happened? I think pretty much the rest of the guys, it was a pretty much run of the mill race weekend. I don't think anybody put any sort of good performance in. Hamilton, just what happened to Hamilton? From qualifying on, it just didn't seem to go well for him. And then, of course, he made that mistake and hit Piastri going into the second chicane, which he admitted straight away was his own fault. Got a 5-second penalty. Apologized to Piastri after the race profusely. So,
Although
yeah.
I do think Piastri wasn't exactly at the edge of the track completely. So, I mean, I think it's more a question there of Piastri being a rookie. It's still Lewis's fault, no doubt about it. He got the 5-second penalty, well deserved, because he definitely moved across. But Piastri, I think, showed some really good race skills there by not moving across. Right, as was demonstrated, the same thing happened with Max and Lewis a few years ago in exactly the same place, and Lewis drove off the track.
Yeah.
And Max wasn't given a penalty because Lewis drove off the track, right? So I mean, so well done to Piastri, again showing a strong head on his shoulders there for a very young man, I think, and really showing that he will be asked to join quite a few teams in the future. I think he really is a rising star.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of complaining about driver conduct by other drivers this weekend. I don't know what was going on, but they all seemed to be complaining that everyone else was putting them off or whatever. Um, Verstappen nearly repeated the put my car on top of someone else's car at the first chicane trick with Sainz. He was getting close to that one and just backed out of it at the right moment. And then complained that he'd been squeezed. Yet, as soon as he got past Sainz, he put a blocking move on Sainz to stop him getting past again. Coming out of the second chicane? Yeah, second chicane. You can't complain that somebody's squeezing you and then go and squeeze somebody. It's not right. What's going on? I don't think. Verstappen
Yeah,
is
I
getting
mean it's Formula One. There are no rules, and Verstappen especially has never paid attention to them when they are there anyway.
Yeah,
You know.
I'd agree with that totally. I mean, it was an obvious move Verstappen made. He was on the right of the track, come out of the corner, and he went straight across. Sorry, he was on the left, and he went to the right of the track to block any comeback from Saints. So don't complain about people squeezing you if you're going to make deliberate squeezing moves on other people. It has to stop.
Unfortunately, that's not Max Verstappen's way. He expects other drivers to move out of his way, and he doesn't want to move out of the way of other drivers. So that's just how he's been brought up. That is how karting goes, right? That's exactly how karting goes. So I'm just saying it's Max Verstappen. I don't think
Yeah,
and the FIA could have done something about it years ago when he was really doing it, right? When he was really driving people off the track. Not that he didn't
yeah,
for several years. Remember when the first race at Imola, and he drove a couple of people off track, and then went, well, you shouldn't be going around the outside, and that's when they had to bring in this new rule of, well, actually, you've got to leave if they're alongside, you've got to leave a car's length, and then he still did it. So they had to bring him right. Okay, if you're alongside by, you know, this much, then that's it. And again, we will find out that in the heat of battle, when it comes down to it, when it's a crucial move, he will still break that rule as well. So he just doesn't leave
Yeah,
space. Never has done.
yeah. I remember the problems Kimi Räikkönen had with him at the end of the Camel Straight at Spa that year when he was diving about all over the place and under brakes.
Yeah.
Um, these are desperate things to do, and they're not acts of somebody who's a twice world champion and should be mature enough these days to not need to do these things,
I
especially in
don't
a
really.
car that's so dominant.
I'm not really sure I agree with that. I mean, the guy's been driving the best car for some years now, and he knows he's faster than the other guys. So I guess he's kind of frustrated when people try to pull, those kind of things when he knows he's way faster than everybody else. I think that showed when he was behind Sainz and he was saying, he's already slippering. And from the box, we were telling him, yeah, we know, just keep your head cool. You're faster than him and all that stuff. So I think, if you're behind and you try to pass somebody and you're forced to take unnecessary risks because of the people in front of you, and you know full well that you're gonna pass him. It's not like it's the last 5 laps where the guy in front might have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. So, and again, I'm not justifying the guy, but I can totally understand, that, it might get a little bit frustrating. Why are they doing that? They know I'm already going to pass them anyway, and it's not like, they got a teammate or some other team which can get me. So I think he's in that state of mind, and I gotta give credit to Verstappen also. The fact that it is true that at the beginning of his career he was kind of a hothead, but right now it seems to me that he's way more solid and even mentally in his race overall. So yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
admit,
but
it's
no,
a
no,
big
no,
improvement.
Fabio. I agree with that
Mm.
because he's got a great car,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
he's not any less hot-headed than he was. He just now he's just saying, right, well, it's not worth me being that hot-headed. You put him in a situation where
I yeah.
he's got like, oh, I'm going to lose the race, or bang, that's it. It'll all come straight back out. And I'll tell you why I know this, right? Because it's exactly what Michael Schumacher used to do, right? He could not help himself, even with the fastest car, even with a huge advantage. He
Yeah.
could not help himself when somebody was trying to overtake him.
Yeah, but but it's because they, regardless of the kind of car you have, if you're a driver, you always going to go fast. So
That's fine. That's
everything
fine.
which, impedes you in going as fast as you can go, it's a nuisance. So
Agreed. But that's
so
racing. That's
yeah, so
racing,
yeah,
right?
but I don't blame the guy complaining. People say, "Oh, why is complaining? He's gonna win the race anyway." Yeah, it is complaining because he wants to go fast. That's it. Nobody wants to go slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Yes, but
There
the
is
thing
one
is,
thing.
if the
There is.
situation's reversed, he's not scared to do the same thing to other people. You can't
Yeah,
complain about other people doing it and then go and do it yourself, and that's the issue that I'm having.
yeah, but this is all the drivers. It happens to Max because he's always in the middle of it because he's overtaking a lot of persons or whatever. But it happens with all the drivers. Everybody on the grid, behaves like that if they give the chance. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm not. I don't feel I can't blame Verstappen specifically because it's just the nature of the driver. It's just the
No,
way they're
there's a,
supposed to be.
sorry, Fabio. There's a difference between driving somebody off the track and not giving them enough room, right? Those two things are different. right? Remember Rosberg and Hamilton at Austria,
Yeah,
right? And Rosberg just went, no, 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 you're not turning into this
yeah,
corner,
right.
right? That's
Yeah.
totally out of order. That is completely out of order,
I
right? Now,
mean,
and that
is it
is a
though?
very mild, yeah, it is. That's a very mild thing, right? Because, right, remember when Perez was run out of road, right? And how he screamed about it on the
Yeah, I
same
mean,
circuit, right? Norris had the same thing happen to him. Max has done this so many times, where when he doesn't need to because he's got the best car, and yet
Yeah,
he still does it. He still runs people out of room,
yeah,
right? And
you
that's
do.
fair enough. That's how racing used to be, right?
But
That's how it is in karting, right? There's no quarter given. I fully
yeah,
understand that. The
oh,
difference is, right? These cars aren't go karts, right? These cars are Formula One cars. There have been rules put in place to try and stop Max doing exactly what he's doing,
yeah. I
right?
mean,
And if the FIA had bollocks, they would have stopped him doing it at the beginning of his career, not waited till he was like double world champion, right? And you don't find Lewis doing it. You just don't see Lewis doing this, right? Yes, Lewis will do it, right? When it comes to this is my line, I'm going to stay on my line, right? And if you want to try and go around the outside, you may run out of road. That's how that does it. Same thing happened in Italy with Max, right? And Lewis just went, no, 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 this is my line. You
yeah.
can't come around the outside.
I, I mean, listen. Okay, so I think we're never gonna agree on that fact.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think we might just leave it there.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's
Okay. Okay. Let me.
again,
Fair
yeah,
enough. We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on if
yeah.
I can. Lucky, are you finished there? Because I need to get on and do some extra things.
Uh, yeah, I think there was nothing really much else happened, was there, of any interest?
Not really. No,
Oh,
After
I
the
mean,
lots
first sort
down
of
the grid,
six.
but
there,
yeah.
there was actually one thing happening, and I want to mention really quickly, Samuel, so you can carry on with what
Yeah. Go
you
ahead.
were going to say. Is the fact that on a track where you have really low downforce, so aero is not as preponderant or important as in other track, you can actually see fucking great races. So DRS is not a problem anymore. You can actually, with this kind of cars, to me the most astonishing thing was seeing people at the beginning of the last corner, before the straight, the Alboreto corner, the ex Parabolica, you had cars following each other 3/10 of a second, and they were getting out the corner 3/10 of a second. So the slipstream was not so effective or bothering almost anybody. If you think just about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, you get in the last corner in Monza and you are 3/10 of a second behind the car. You get the last corner and you are all over the fucking place because you got no downforce. I mean, the car doesn't steer. It's fucking, undrivable. With those cars, they can actually follow each other really, really, really close with no, particular effects on drivability. And of course, that was Monza. So low downforce, the aero is not as effective. But that is an old beef that Samus knows that they have. That
Indeed.
my
Yeah.
my my recipe to solve
Okay.
most of the F1 problems would be get rid of aero as much as possible and go back to mechanical grip. And then you can see people like this,
Yes. Good answers.
yeah.
So is that who do you think that is, Lucky? I'll let you say first.
Uh, I'm really not sure. It's
Can you put me
it's a,
full screen? Cause
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if you can notice that. And I get the fuck out of the way. The
there's
guy.
some fucking
The
Italian
no
right in
no
the middle of
no.
that car.
Look
Smoking a
look
cigarette.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the guy is fucking smoking a cigarette
Okay. So
while
I think
four
it
wheel drifting.
I think it might be Nuvolari, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you what.
And you get bonus points if
What
you get the car.
I think it's an Alpha.
Oh, it's just the way I
No,
spot cars there.
Oh,
It's not an
it's
okay.
Alpha, no.
well, you're close when you say
Valencia?
Alpha. What?
Okay, so go ahead, Lucky.
I thought it was a Lancia, maybe.
No, it's not Lancia.
No. I that
Yeah,
grill that seems really familiar.
I
Maserati,
mean,
Uh,
Maserati, no.
is it a
no,
Bugatti maybe even? No.
no. It's a brand which doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't know. I don't know.
So it's Cisitalia.
Okay, it's Cheese
Yeah.
Italia.
See, it's spelled Cisitalia. But
Okay,
it's a great Tazza Nuvolari,
right.
four-wheel drift, smoking a fucking cigarette,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, and there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna go. While Lucky's out, I just want to go through a couple of things that have been said.
Hmm.
So, did you hear that Nuvolari? It was a. Could you say the name of the brand again for us, Fabio?
Cisitalia.
I
There you go, Cheese Italia. Okay, so Gio says, I like Fabio's background. Is that inappropriate to mention? No, it's not. I just wanted to be able to have a guess at the driver because I felt I recognised that it was Nuvolari. So there you go. Fuck you too, says Sam. Showing good restraint. Yes, there was a lot of good restraint shown actually. These spiders complaining is just stress relief. So yeah, that's in relation to Max and Perez going, "Oh, you pushed me off," or "That was naughty." I think he said. It's not meant to, as a public statement. Very true. Very true. And Sis Italia, that is exactly right, Bub. You guessed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, South Nuva in Sis Italia. So yeah, there we go. Nice.
Can I make a 60 seconds
Bub,
comment? You can
Bub got it, by the way.
yes, you can time me on that.
I don't need
Okay.
to time you, but I will. Go ahead.
Okay. So
One,
they had
two.
a banner removed from Monza which said Felipe Massa 2008 World Champion. They had it
Nice.
removed
Nice.
because Felipe Massa is suing FIM and FOA, every F on the face of the earth because of the fact that he actually won the 2008 World Championship and it was stolen by him. And that goes back to an interview that El Capitan Bernie Eccleston released an interview recently saying that they knew that the 2008 Renault Gate, when Briatore told the guy,
Crashgate. Yeah, Crashgate.
yeah,
Yeah.
they knew what happened, and him and Max Mosley kept them under wrap because there is a rule in the rule book that every whatever happens after the ceremony where the prize is given to the driver which won the championship, nothing else can be done. Okay, nothing else can literally be done. So they kept it under wrap up until actually Benny Ecclestone told Piquet, Nelson, uh, which is the I think it's the uncle of Piquet Junior. The one which actually crashed, or the father. I can't remember.
A
To
nephew. I think it's his
yeah,
nephew.
yeah, to keep him under wrap, but they knew it, and this came up in an interview. Felipe Massa got, it went ballistic, as you would expect. So there was this banner, and the F1, had the banner removed from the sides, and that is the main reason why Bernie Ecclestone, he said in an interview, he still considers Michael Schumacher to be the only seven-time world champions, because if they should have taken away the points from Singapore, and if that happened, Lewis Hamilton would not have won the championship, but Felipe Massa would have.
That's such a crock of shit. coming from
man.
Bernie, it's what we
Man,
expect.
listen,
But
listen.
no.
No,
Let
no,
me
no,
just
no,
say.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
go
Okay,
on.
no, no. I got to reply. Listen, man. It's Bernie Eccleston and Max Mosley. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a Brit thing. So, if it's a lot of shit, you
It's a
deal with
crock of
those
shit.
guys. Yeah, okay,
No,
you deal
I'm
with
saying
those
it's a crock
guys.
of shit, and here's
Yeah.
why it's a crock of shit. Because Michael doesn't deserve 7 world titles. He cheated at least for 3 of them. Two of them demonstrably. He should have 4 world titles, not 7. And there we go.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
Okay.
Carry
Yeah.
on.
No. Over to you, Lucky.
To
Oh,
me,
before you go,
to
what
me,
year was that?
2008.
No, not the championship. The picture behind you.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no
Okay.
idea. I have no idea.
50, 52.
I have no idea. I'll look into it, but I really don't know. That's something
Okay.
I don't know.
There we go. Just checking. Bob made a
Was,
guess as well. So
would that
anyway,
be the
there we
year
go.
he won? Did he win the
Okay.
championship that year? You lie.
Who knows? Who knows? I recognise his face. That's all.
I think it might be something like 46,
Okay. Okay.
just after the war. Yeah.
No worries. Yep. Okay. So moving onwards anyway, because we're getting to the end now. I'd like to pass it over to. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Monza?
Nope, fine.
No. Okay. Monza looked great.
Hmm.
A couple of people remarked on how few trees there were, and I think it improved the place. It occurred to me that there was a storm there a little while ago, was there not? And they said they lost
Oh
a lot of trees.
no, that was no, that wasn't in Monza. That was in Imola.
This was a few years ago. I'm talking about.
Oh, a few years ago. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So they lost a lot of trees, and I'm just wondering if they're waiting for another storm to go through so they can lose another 10,000 trees. Hint, hint. That they can get the circuit up to FIA standards, so they can keep the license. Anyway, yeah, just me and conspiracy
Wow. I
theories.
mean, yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so that was Monza. Of course, next time we will be at Singapore, maybe. Anybody
I
know?
don't know. I don't know. Lucky,
Okay,
come on.
you're the expert,
Yeah,
not the
I'm here.
expert. Yeah,
Yeah,
Singapore,
I'm
a
here.
couple of weeks
Singapore.
anyway.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And we're going to pass it over to you now. Oh,
Right.
question. Hang on. We have a question.
No, hold
Would
on.
you prefer?
No.
Yes.
Give me one
Would you
second.
prefer?
I'm going to check.
No.
On you go.
No. Shut up. We have a question from Bob Elvis. Would you prefer
Okay.
Lawson or Ricardo besides Sonoda? I think that's supposed to be. No, I think I would prefer. Let me answer first. I would prefer Sergio Bye Perez. Okay, and over to you, Fabio.
I would love to. I would love to see Lawson and Ricciardo, if you ask me. There you go.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I'm moving. I'm shuffling the cards a little bit.
You want, yeah, a Honda there next year? Because it'll be Sonoda if Honda is still there next year.
No, Tsunoda will be there.
Yeah. Okay, and over to you, Lucky. Lawson, Ricardo, and a third party.
Okay, well, I like Ricardo. He's one of the funnest drivers and actually has a personality that most of them seem to be devoid of. So I like Ricardo for that reason, but Lawson, he seems to be quite impressive from what we've seen in the past couple of races as a stand-in for Ricardo, and for somebody who has very little Formula One track experience. So I'll go with Ricardo because he's a funny guy. I'll go with Ricardo purely for comedic value.
Okay. Yeah, and last week I said that I thought Perez was going to be demoted to the B team and Lawson will be promoted to the A team, just because of all the friction that's been going on in the A team. But anyway, there we go. That's my opinion. I'm going to pass it over to you now, Lucky, for the. Is it? Oh, and we've got the theme tune. Let me just hit the button.
Yeah.
Quiz or myth? Myth or quiz? Are we going to have the myth or the quiz or both? Myth or
Or
quiz?
nothing.
Oh
We're
dear.
going to, we're going to have both today. Well, it's not really a myth. We're going to have a small story um, about the Monza Grand Prix in 1971, 71 Italian Grand Prix. If you don't already know, I'm sure you two boys will already know, the closest finish in Grand Prix history. Now, that extremely nice Yardley BRM that I sent you a picture of, you could maybe throw that up on the screen if you don't mind.
Yes, I will.
And I'll ask you a quick question about who the driver would be of that car. Here we go. That's Yardley BRM. My favorite Skilextrix car was the Yardley BRM. Now, who's the driver of that Yardley BRM that you see pictured there, drifting four wheels? You remember, guys?
Muted. Is that 1971?
71, yeah.
Hmm.
This isn't the quiz. This is just as we're going
Yeah.
along with the story.
Okay.
So
He's British.
Is he British though?
Yeah.
Okay. Scottish, presumably.
No, he's not Scottish.
Okay.
Because I remember, so there was Stifford, which drove the Yardley BRM
Seafood.
on the BRM team. Yeah, and the only reason I remember that is because it's the only, it's the second Swiss driver. I think I don't know if there has been any other Swiss driver besides Regazzoni and Stifford, but those are the only two ones I remember.
He was actually this guy's teammate. Well, having said that, remember in these days,
No.
you could
Hold on
buy
a
a
sec. Hold
car.
on a sec. Are you sure that? So if it was his teammate, I'm not really sure that it was British. I don't remember the name, but I think it was either an Australian or a New Zealander,
Okay,
and I can't
you're on the
remember the
right
name of the guy.
lines, but remember, in these days, there might be more than two cars per team because you could buy a car from BRM or you could buy a car from McLaren or Brabham and have a separate team but running a different car. So he would have been a teammate to Siffert in the same car, and there would have been a third car as well. In fact, there was four BRMs, I think, in that race, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
I know exactly who drove a BRM in '71.
Go for it
I
then.
know, but it's not the one you're thinking about.
Is it
It was
someone
a
called Peter?
no. There was an
Okay.
Austrian guy.
You're
There
thinking
was
of
an Austrian guy.
Howden Ganley. You're thinking of Howden Ganley, and it wasn't Howden Ganley.
No. I'm thinking about Helmut Marko.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he was.
I know, right? Yeah,
But
I know.
it's not Helmut that's in the picture there.
No, I mean you said it's British,
Simon, you were
so it's
getting it.
not Helmut Marko.
Simon, go for it.
And
You were getting there.
Peter,
Yep.
Peter Hanley or something like that, maybe.
No,
No,
you're close though.
no, I can't remember. Peter, someone I can't remember who though.
Peter Gethin. Peter Gethin.
Geffen, that's it. Geffen, yeah.
And as I said,
Okay.
there was four BRMs in that race. There was Marco, there was Siffer, there was Peter Geffen, and Howden Ganley. They were the four drivers. However, the car you're seeing there was, as I said, Peter Geffen, who was the winner of the 1971 Italian Grand Prix. Do you remember what his winning margin was? over Ronnie Peterson, who was in second place.
Uh, and the great Ronnie Peterson,
And
probably in a JPS.
that's what makes this Grand Prix what it is.
Yeah, I think it was like 0.2 of a second or something like
Yeah,
that.
point nothing,
Well,
nothing. Oh, well, keep
that's
in
the
mind
spirit.
that I think there were no thousands,
No, that's right.
No, there
so
wasn't.
so it's gonna be hundreds of something something. But yeah, I don't know. Can't remember. I
Okay,
remember it was really close, but
the winning time for Peter Gethin was 1:18:12.60, and Ronnie Peterson was a hundredth of a second behind him. In
Wow.
third place
yeah,
was Francois Sever, who
Sever, yeah,
was 900ths of a second behind Peterson.
yeah.
And then fourth place was Mike
Mike
Haywood in a
Haywood, yeah,
yeah
Oh,
ex-bike champion. He was a tenth of a second behind Sever. And then in fifth place, you had Howden Ganley in another BRM, and he was 6/10ths of a second. So basically, from start to fifth place, as they crossed the line, there was less than a second between the five cars.
wow.
And it was the closest finish ever in Formula One race.
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
Peter
So
Geffen.
that was
Wow.
what was famous about the 71 Monza Grand Prix. Now, while we're on the subject of 70s Grand Prix,
I'm
there
sorry.
was
I'm sorry. I really Babel's comment. He's the father of the stick. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
while we're on the subject, Father of Steve, uh, the subject of 70s Italian Grand Prix, 1973 was also a notable Grand Prix, not because of the winner, but the man who was in fourth place, and that was Jackie Stewart. And he
Jackie
secured his
Stewart.
Jackie
It's a
Stewart.
great day for motor racing.
And Sunday was a great day for Jackie Stewart because it was the 50th anniversary of him clinching the 73 championship at Monza that year. Now, what was interesting about that race was that Stewart got a puncture very early in the race and dropped down to 20th out of the 24 starters. But by the end of the race, had made his way back up to fourth. Now, that's a 55 lap race. 16 positions in 55 laps showed just what a talent Jackie Stewart actually was.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah. Jackie was the man at his peak in the early 70s for sure. So there was a ceremony just before the race on Sunday where I can't remember who presented Jackie with a trophy or some sort of thing to mark his 50th anniversary of clinching the 73 championship at Monza.
Wow.
So there we go. Monza, always a place of drama, and the best track in F1 currently.
So
It's well. I mean, no. Well, I would say. I mean, I think it's harsh to say it's the best, but there is one thing we can say: there is only four tracks, which are the hyper classics in F1 right now, and it's Monaco, Spa, Silverstone, and Monza.
Yeah.
So those are the four tracks which has always been there. So yeah.
yep,
The old,
can't
the old
disagree. Although
Silverstone,
you'd be surprised how short Spa has. I mean, Spa came back, didn't it? Had
Yeah,
a long
yeah, it
time
came back.
off. So
Yeah.
I think it was like
yeah, they had
80,
Zoller.
86 or something when they started racing again there.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think even earlier than that.
it was. I mean, I guess it was bombed, or I mean, being in the Ardennes didn't really help,
Yeah,
the
that's
track.
true.
So,
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Okay.
think the track was a bit variable in those days as well, um, with
Oh, it
bits
used to
being
change
added.
every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
That's I mean, yeah, it was very
Mm.
variable. And of course, if you remember, Spa was one of the tracks that resisted Jackie Stewart's safety improvement crusade of the
Mm.
70s, and therefore was kind of faux pas as far as things were concerned. Uh, and Zolder took over for, I think, 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, until they went back
I don't
to
know.
Spa.
So, do you have the quiz where I can make an edit of myself, or should we go
Well,
on?
today's quiz is going to be a 2 pointer. Okay, one of the answers is going to be very easy, and the co-answer is going to be probably guesswork. So we'll go whoever gets closest to the actual number. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's a simple question you're going to get. Who has the most Grand Prix starts? And it's not a current driver. Who holds the record for the most Grand Prix starts?
Barrichello.
And
Yeah, I think it's Barrichello.
you both want to go Barrichello?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, you got a point each then, because that's the answer. I told you it was easy. However, how many starts did he have?
Oh,
Oh, that's a good question.
200. I think it's 200. It's I, it's close to 250, I think.
I think it's closer to 342.
Yeah, I mean it's an insane number.
It might be 328, but so I'll go.
I
I'll go 330. Okay.
yeah.
Fuck that. Your three answers you've given us so far. Are you going to go with 330, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Fab?
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
already guessed. He's guessed
yeah,
240
no, no,
something.
I would say 250. Yeah, I already guess. I think it's
Yeah,
less than
yeah.
that,
Come on,
250.
let's not mess about.
Well, you had
Yeah.
three fucking tries. You started off at 350, then you went to 332,
I
and
said
then you went down to something
342
else.
was my first guess. Yeah,
That's right,
342.
yes, you're right. So
So
you're
what's the
going to
correct answer?
you're going to 330, Simus. And Fab, what's your answer?
I'm lower than this. Yeah, like in 250, 260, stuff like that. I can't remember.
Oh,
Well, I
Simus
know
gets points.
320,
Simus is
328
going to get
was
point, I'm
somebody's.
afraid, because it
Yeah,
was
maybe. No,
three,
you might be right, Silas. Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
322.
yeah,
322
320.
starts.
There you go.
322, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were extremely close, uh,
Yeah.
Simus.
Well,
And
I'm sorry. Are we going by the Price is Right rules?
What's the Price is Right rules?
oh,
Well, the Price
okay,
is
right.
Right rules. The
It's
Price
just,
is
it's
Right
just
rules are really clear. You can guess, but if you go
you can't go
over,
over.
you lose. Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on.
No, I'm
Are you
just
gonna make?
saying. I don't care. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Well,
Look, we're not
perhaps,
debating it. We're not
yeah.
debating it.
oh
We're
no,
not
no, no,
No,
going
I
no.
mean,
over it.
that was a
We're
question.
already 1 hour 10 minutes.
Jesus
We're already one
I'm,
Christ.
hour
I'm,
10 minutes. Go ahead.
I'm in charge of this
Jeez.
quiz, and I'll decide.
Okay.
Would you, Fabio, like to launch a protest, an official protest?
No, just a question. The amount of fucks I give is
Oh,
null.
for fuck's sake!
So I
I'm
was
trying
just
to.
saying, I was
You're
just
2 points
asking,
behind.
do we go with the Price is Right rules? That's all I said. And then everybody jumped on me. I have to do whatever the fuck
You're
you want. Yeah,
you're two
it's
points
okay.
behind. I'm giving you the opportunity here to claw back a point by making an
He's done it.
official
He's doing it
protest.
again, Mafio. He's doing it again, Fabio.
I am too much of a gentleman to make a
Yes.
protest. I just raised a question, and then it's up for the board to decide. I just made a question. I don't know. I don't care. If you decide we go with the Price is Right rules, yeah. If we don't, I'm fine. So yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much. Right.
I,
Lucky, you're not saying anything. Could you just give the points out, and we'll be done with it?
I can't fucking believe that I'm sitting here saying, Fabio, I'll give you this fucking point if you protest it, and he's saying no. I give him the chance to claw
He
back.
wants to be Sterling Moss. Come
I'm not
on.
protesting, I'm just raising an issue which I think is legitimate. And you just give me an answer and then get the verdict, whatever it is. I just think that the Price is Right rules is something which is, currently going on. But if we go otherwise, I'm fine. Yeah, no
Okay.
worries.
So
Okay.
could you just give the points,
Okay.
please?
Okay.
See, but Elvis actually, doesn't think that I'm too far out.
Okay. Well, after protests from two people, I'm afraid that Simons, we're going to have to disqualify your guess for going over, and we'll.
Only joking. Only joking.
That's
And no,
that
don't
was
you
brilliant.
disqualify me after I was.
That
I
was
was.
brilliant.
Enough. Don't you start giving me this rubbish. Price is
Hold
Right
on,
rules.
I'm gonna have to
Changing the
discuss
movie the goalposts
Why
after the
why
question is
why
asked.
don't listen? You've been putting everybody's comments on the stream. Why didn't you
Yes,
put Bob Elvis one?
because I had another thing up. I haven't got his comments here. Right. If
There you
not
go.
specified, then the Price is Right applies. Don't give me that. I've never even heard of the Price is Right rules. I've never seen it. What the
Well, I
hell's
mean,
that?
it's not my fault if you're
it's
ignorant.
a rule. Yeah, I must
Everybody
admit,
knows that.
it's a
If it
rule.
was specified earlier, I just would have gone higher. I would have said 320, bang, then done. Not even that. I probably would have gone 315. So either way,
The stewards have inquired. The stewards have
Listen,
inquired, and after their
Simons, you
inquiry,
can have the points
there will be problems.
if it's up to
That's all
me.
I'm saying.
But yeah,
Well, there we are.
listen,
Yeah.
yeah.
the rules
After
of this.
my Sterling Moss last week, I'm not happy about changing the rules after the event. That's all.
I mean, listen,
The
we're not talking about changing the rules. It's just a clarification.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
all
not
I
happy.
asked.
Not happy.
And apparently, the fans agree with me that I might
but
have
he
a
wanted-
point, but I'm
Fabio,
not going to complain
Fabio,
about that.
he wanted to change it because I said miles after the fact. Remember that, okay?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's unfortunate that there is no Price is Right rules about miles and kilometers, but that's tough shit.
Yes, there are Prices Right rules about miles and
Uh,
kilometres.
there
Price
there
is
is
Right.
there's one rule that you're forgetting in this quiz.
What's that?
My decisions may be arbitrary, but they're fine. So so
Okay.
you get
Well, we
you're gonna
won't be
get
having any more quiz then. All right. That's all I'm saying. Because
oh,
because-
you're taking like
because
you're
my
taking like-
decisions.
oh,
You're
Right.
you're taking like a champ, man. I mean, I don't want to hear complaining anymore about Max Verstappen, Helmut Marko, or Christian Horner or Toto Wolff after this, right? I mean, because you're done. I mean, literally, you're fucking done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll leave it there then. I think we've said enough.
Okay.
So,
enough.
well, the
there
points
we
are
go.
getting shared.
Thank-
The
thank-
points are going to be getting shared this week.
Sure,
Which
okay.
puts Fab on 11.
No, Fabio's got a cheat to win. I understand. I
And-
understand.
Oh, fuck
You're
off!
you're
Oh,
still-
bloody hell!
You're
Just
still
because
in the lead.
I raised the the
Yeah, you raised
2008
some
championship,
fucking
and then
objection.
you're still fuming. Bloody hell, man! Jesus Christ! Chill the fuck up. Ah,
Yeah, maybe. But
yeah,
there we go.
yeah.
Okay,
You're
thank you
still-
very much. Go
You're
ahead.
still out front with a double diffuser.
It
13
doesn't
points to
matter.
11. Simon.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't
So-
matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You're still there.
Doesn't matter.
still there.
I got half the guy's name right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got Fabio's picture right. I mean, come on now. What have I got to do? I was within a few races of the actual number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that
Yeah,
he's
it's just
correct.
unfortunate
The Price is
that
Right
that
rule
there is such a
is
really widespread show where
Price is Right.
that kind of
Yeah. Well, I'll
rule
tell you what.
is
I'll
known by everybody. I mean, it
Yeah.
must be I don't
It's in
know.
the Bible.
I-
The Price is Right
it's
rule
in
is
the
in the Bible.
Bible. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jesus even said it.
yeah.
you know. Okay, right. Well, we'll go for clarifications of the rules next
That's
time
why
then.
Judas got those 25 pieces of silver, because he got
Tedious.
the right test without going over.
Tedious. We spent an extra 5 minutes of the show doing this shit. That's all I'm saying.
It's
Yeah.
fucking
I mean, I'll
fantastic.
tell you one thing though.
Isn't
This
still
this-
going on? It's
this
just
this
incredible.
I haven't finished yet. This quiz show is very much like the FIA. It's run exactly like the FIA. Okay, so there we go. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks' time.
If
for the
only
Singapore
Michael
Grand
Masi was still with us.
I think he is. I think he got a new job and changed his name to Lucky Seven Wolfen.
I think